In this video we'll be discussing guides as evidence. I'm Charlie Kelly and this is Masterclass. If this is your first time visiting my channel, maybe consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell. So moving on to giving guides as evidence and why we shouldn't do it. And what I'm trying to get you, the viewer, the medium, to understand is that that can have a profound effect in some people's journeys and looking in the wrong direction. What do I mean by that? I mean that if I was to come to you as a student or as someone as part of my audience and I tell you to be looking to your right hand side because I see a nun or a biblical figure or even something like a Red Indian, these kind of characters come up very regular when you go to a demonstration of mediumship. And the problem that we have is that the client or the recipient of that message or information will go away and start looking into why haven't they seen the Red Indian? Why can't they feel the Red Indian? What's the Red Indian all about? And what we have to understand is that it's a state of consciousness, and you as the individual, you as the recipient, you as even a medium will use that consciousness in any given avatar. And what I mean is that if you need to see Elvis Presley as your spirit guide, then the spirit world will manipulate or cloak that consciousness with the avatar of Elvis Presley or Red Indian or nun, etc., etc. And so what we need to do is find our own natural way, what our own mind needs for our own security within our own mind, to then find the avatar that suits the individual best. So for example, my spirit team, I tend to use three that just seem to be there a lot, more or less all of the time. And for me, one is a lady. One's just a lady, like a mother figure. And that will be something to do with my mind and maybe my relationship with my mum. And so I get this motherly figure step forward. It feels nurturing, it makes me feel safe, and it helps me step out into the public arena when I am trying to demonstrate mediumship. Therefore, a nice nurtured feeling like a mother would give you then seems to fit the avatar of that conscious state of mind. However, sometimes I see a male figure, and this male figure may be like an act of defiance for me. So I know I need to be evidential tonight, or I know that there's people out there judging me today. And through this judgment and this defiance, I kind of need that fatherly figure there. So my other guide or like one of the team will feel like that fatherly figure, one that will prop me up, one that lets me know that they're stood behind me and they have my back in effect. So the avatar in this example would be of a fatherly figure. When I have to speak on philosophy, so a lot of my evenings will be on a Sunday where I have to cover lots and lots of philosophy, maybe educate the audience in an area that people are not touching upon or looking at. And then behind me I will feel a great intelligence. I don't have an avatar for this. This is just a knowing. I feel it, I can sense it, but no imagery falls into place with that. I just feel like a gentleman that has a lot of knowledge, maybe from the spiritual law aspect or the natural law aspect, maybe bringing a little bit of science, but also bringing in the everyday to make it a reflective kind of philosophy. Do you recognize that within your everyday? And therefore that will allow you to understand what it is that I'm talking about, making you think of something that happens within your everyday. So that's three avatars that I've gave forward there. One as a mother figure, one as a father figure, and then one as just like a feeling, a sensation that I have with them. And so it wouldn't be right if I turned up to a demonstration, which has happened on many occasions, where someone wants to offer me a biblical character, someone wants to offer me a religious lady or a religious man, and then of course the Red Indian always turns up somewhere, doesn't it? So there is no evidence that can go with this because it's my avatar. It's what I need for my mind security. And so unless the medium is reading me psychically, then they will be aware of a mother figure, a father figure, or whether they are just delusional and using that imagery within their own mind to project onto me, which is usually what we see out there. So never give a guide as evidence, because it cannot be evidentially proved. And also you have to remember that when people are very early on in their own development, you may actually hinder someone from looking further into spiritual development or spiritual awareness, because they just can't see the nun that you've given them. They just can't see the red Indian that you speak of and see standing beside them. So in every shape or form, it's just not advisable to do. So I hope that gives you something to think about. Once again, I ask for your engagement on the channel. I would like your views or your techniques on this mechanic that I'm speaking about, or your process on what you do with guides. Maybe you're someone that gives guides from a public platform. I ask you to engage with the channel. I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. This is a platform for discussion, and this is a perfect place to discuss it. So I thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Charlie Kelly, and this has been Masterclass. Easy.
Yeah, but give it a
It's
go.
not easy.
But give it a go.
It's not easy.
No, you don't know.
It ain't easy. Being me. What are you doing? Did you press record?
Yeah.
Ah, you're a dick. So what is it? So if this is your first